What's up, guys? This is Renoir. Welcome to Creative from Chaos. And today's topic is why women are unfair. And I know this video is going to hit home for a lot of women, but I also know that a lot of women out there would agree with what I'm saying. A lot of men also will disagree, but I also know that a lot of men will agree. The thing is this, guys, we are not aware what really affects us subconsciously in our relationships. And there's a term I continue to use over time called polarize. And so we're not aware what depolarizes our relationships. And we tend to go based on cultural norms or what we would have seen our parents or grandparents do. And we felt it worked, but we don't understand that they lived in a different time, as a lot of women especially tends to say that I speak to. Times have changed, but what they mean by times have changed is that they have changed times, or they are changing how they want to be viewed. And women are coming across very unfair. I really strive daily to be unbiased, and so I I can, will, and have attacked men as well, because I quite frankly think a lot of men are failing. In fact, most men are what we would term as beta males, and some are actual beta males, and some are beta males based on their actions, but they're really alpha males, but the society has caused them to be. But today's topic is about women, and I'll tell you why. Two words or two phrases that affect women the most are one, women want men to lead. I think there's not a woman out there, that would say that I don't want a man to lead. But the phrase that affects women the most also is the statement to the word is women are also hate to submit. So as soon as a woman hears the term submission, she thinks that it's a weak term or it's less than. So two things, or a few things. Women think on many different platforms. They are very complex individuals. And as long as men understand that women are operating from an emotional vantage point or emotional foundation, it should start to get easier. So in most cases, what a woman says is not exactly what she wants, but how she feels at the time she's saying it. Forgive me. So if we take those two things, that a woman wants a man to lead, but she also hates to submit. Now, how would those two things work? They're both facts. Every woman I've ever spoken to wants a man who can really lead her. But a very high percentage, I'll even put it into the 90s, women, when they hear submission, it affects them. So how can you have a man to lead you if you don't submit? In other words, you can't have a man or individual in any organization that leads, but you are the same with him or her. And what confuses women a lot is that the fact that the women are working now, and some women are actually better managers or better leaders than some men. Just like some women are able to run faster than some men, but it doesn't mean that what they're able to do is what they are good at. You're a human being. So quite frankly, you can't fail at much or anything at all. So once you put your mind to something as a human being, you can accomplish it. It doesn't mean that I was built to do that. And global studies have shown that women who are successful, in other words, the more successful a woman is the more she is likely to be either divorced or unhappy or not able to be in a solid relationship and very much not able to submit. And the reason for this, quite frankly, is most women who are leaders, and the more they lead and the more they work, is the more testosterone enters their bloodstream on a daily basis. And what happens, especially when the workload increases, for a woman to function with workload in the industry today or in the world today, she has to go into what we would call a manly frame. Just like when a man is caring for children, babysitting or even changing a diaper, he has to go into what is called a feminine frame. Or his what actually happens while women and people like to see it is this man is estrogen levels are rising. What happens there? You would find women would use terms as he looks cute and stuff. And when women use terms like cute and stuff, it shows that it's not attraction really. They're just simply in love with what they're seeing. And over time, these things depolarize relationships. So you find a lot of times couples aren't doing well at all. They're very poor or they're on the poverty line. But that relationship is a very healthy one. They're actually together, they're in love. And we don't understand that in a relationship, there's a soulmate aspect and there's a role mate aspect. And what tends to affect relationships today is the role mate aspect, where, yes, time has changed, but women think that time has changed, so now they're working and that's the end all and be all. But women are now more stressed, and because women are now more stressed because they're working, because a woman was not naturally designed to work. In other words, there's a huge difference if a woman is working because she wants to, and a huge difference between if a woman is working because she must. And what you find is men are usually attracted to a younger woman because she's not as much in her manly frame or testosterone driven as an older woman. While I can also look at men for failing because a woman is more of a leader, women must also understand that how you make a man feel really matters a lot, because how you make a man feel is the basis by how he's going to meet your emotional needs. And women have a lot more demands from a relationship standpoint for emotional needs to be met than a man has for him to feel loved and respected and accepted. So in other words, a man comes home from work and he has a day of stress. He's looking forward to going home to that person or scenario that is going to diffuse his day. And conversely, a woman comes home from work and she's stressed. She needs this man to purge her. So she needs him to sit and listen to what happened today. She doesn't want him to actually speak or try to solve the problem. She just wants him to listen and look at her while he's speaking. But what women don't do is allow this man to come home and detach, or allow him to come home and go in his cave to be able to switch into the side that she needs him to be. A man is a single dimension person. That's why they're better at working, because he goes into one aspect at a time. So he focuses on work, then he switches over to focusing on his woman. No woman wants a man who really puts her first. If a woman is saying that she doesn't understand herself. The minute a man puts a woman first before his job or his purpose, especially his purpose, she starts to depolarize and lose attraction to him without even knowing. But any man who puts his woman first as well is also failing, and his testosterone level is not where it's supposed to be and will not be where it's supposed to be. And because his testosterone level drops, she feels it depolarizes the relationship again. So you see how it happens from both sides. So the thing is, what is actually required is that a woman should focus on what she says to a man and how she makes him feel. And so the point is, if he's saying that there is a problem, and this is where submission is so important, listen to what his problem is. This is your partner. You want him to be happy and he wants you to be happy. He's telling you that there's a problem. He's saying that this is what he wants, this is what he doesn't want. And women find it hard to submit because they lead so much in their organizations in which they work that they can't see themselves submitting to a man. Even if they find a man who is really a leader, she diffuses him and breaks him down. It's a really big thing because a man is ego-driven and territorial. It's a really big thing when you don't build him up. If you break your man's testosterone, you are also affecting your estrogen from going up. Women don't understand that. So back then, your grandmother felt good that her estrogen levels were high because she saw him providing, and he was a provider for the home. That is what she needed at the time. She really did not need intimacy and affection as much as women today need it. Just driving in traffic to go to work alone, a woman is already stressed. And it means her testosterone is rising. That's why she quarrels and gets on the way she gets on in the vehicle if somebody gives her a bad drive. And time she gets to work and gets back home, she has a high level of testosterone and a lower level of estrogen that is required. So she's not in a center. She requires this man to purge her to get back on her estrogen levels and oxytocin levels back up. But she doesn't want to submit. So how is he to do that if you are not able to submit? Submission simply means you building him up. That's why you'll never see a woman taking off a man's shoes, or you hardly see it, I should say. But most women love their feet to be rubbed. I said that last time. And so you're not being fair to yourselves, you're not being fair to your partner, you're not being fair to your relationship. And it hurts your relationship in the long term. So it's a necessity for women to submit, to have a happier and a healthier relationship. And it's a necessary that you also, or a necessity that you build your partner up so he can then purge you and he can get you your estrogen levels back to where it's supposed to be. Women don't understand that just by simply washing or cooking or sweeping a house, it actually brings her estrogen levels back up. But today's women, if you tell them to do something like that, they think it's, and I hear the term a lot, it's slavery. But it's not slavery when the man has to fight and put his life on the line for someone who is trying to get at you. Or if he has to change a car tire, as I said the last time, or anything at all, who mow the lawn, etc. It's not a slavery for him, right? And so it's so key that women understand fully that this thing must, if you're talking about balance, you have to allow the man to really lead. Because if a man is not leading and you are not allowing him to lead, it really affects you more than it damages him. It's easier for a man to walk away because you are never really and truly his number one. He thinks you're his number one when he wants to get you, but when he has you, you are not his number one anymore. But from a woman's vantage point, she's built for love and intimacy. He's built for purpose. So his purpose will always be his number one, truly. Your number one will always be love and intimacy. In other words, you can actually have a bad job and a bad day at work, but if your husband loves you and you feel happy at home, you're still okay. But if his woman loves him and he has a very nice home with a nice family, but his job and his life and his purpose is not in order, he's not okay. You see? And so, but women must understand that is what you actually want. You don't really want him to put you first. You just want to understand that he loves you. And from a love aspect, from love, he puts you first. But most women don't even know that, don't even understand that. What I find is I have interacted with about 8 or 9 women who have told me that they have purchased the book, Becoming Michelle Obama. But they never would refer to the points when they tell me about the book that Michelle submitted. She gave up her future for her husband, and he became president, she became first lady. Now look at her in the US, look at her, how she operates. You see? So I want women to understand that submission is key. She submitted, and she's a dominant woman. Her husband respects her, and he listens to her. Unless you submit to a man, he's not going to give you the emotional support you need. You're not going to get the attention you need. You're not going to have your emotional and hormonal center. And so you'll always be in a relationship that is going to stress you out. And you're going to be unhappy and then ask and want to seek a divorce. All right? So like, comment, subscribe, share the post. And I would love to see your emails and whatever issues you have. And I've gotten a few and I'm dealing with these. I'm queuing different videos. So I'll do videos almost daily now to get you to respond to what you're saying to me and what issues affect you, okay? So bye for now, and we'll chat again soon.